What's up, Nerdgenic Nation? Superhero and Disney nerd Aaron Waller here, and I also just so happen to be a massive 90s nerd. So I was so excited when one of my favorite cartoons, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, was going to be getting a Disney Plus original movie. And now that it just came out this past weekend, I have quite a few things to say, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it straight out, this movie is a ton of fun. From the obvious Rescue Rangers to Disney and various other pop culture references, including He-Man, Voltron, Nickelodeon, Ugly Sonic, and so much more. But the best way that I can describe Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is very much like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, who also happens to make a cameo, and Looney Tunes Back in Action, both of which I love, and thus I love this movie. Besides the various characters and references, one thing that I find so fascinating about this movie and others like it that I just mentioned is how they play with the idea of animated characters living and working within the human world that we all know. There's just something about a cartoon-owned business or a cartoon-human hybrid police force that is absolutely hilarious to me and is so much fun to watch, no matter how good or bad the movie ends up being, and Rescue Rangers does just that. But it also manages to parody or at least shed some light on the industry that is Hollywood, as Chip 'n Dale are actors in this film that have their successful TV show Rescue Rangers, and now they're estranged and sort of washed up doing their own jobs, going to conventions and just trying to live their lives. They even managed to explain the evolution of Hollywood and various aspects within it with fun animation beats, like the mention of Dale getting 3D surgery, hence his different look to Chip despite them having grown up together, as well as other nods to the hybrid animated and real world as I just mentioned earlier. And although I know movies like this can be a lot to take in and thus can only be done every decade or so, I find it so interesting to see what direction they end up taking and what characters they build a narrative out of. Plus, again, all the cameos are super fun. But now let's talk about the characters of Chip and Dale. Now, I'm not going to talk about everyone in this movie, just the main two here also. Oh, and also they don't have their squeaky voices like the old cartoon because obviously they were actors and doing a part, so they sound totally normal in this movie. So let's first talk about Chip, who's voiced by John Mulaney. I was a huge fan of John Mulaney years ago, but he's been on a bit of a downturn as of late, so to say that this film is poor timing on his part is probably true, but he did a fairly good job at voicing Chip. It wasn't as over the top as Spider-Ham from Into the Spider-Verse, and was pretty normal and straight-laced, very much like the character is. I didn't mind him so much and felt he fit the character pretty well, but I also felt like just about any other dry and straight-laced person could have done just as well in this role. Mulaney still may have won out, but it wasn't like the role he was born to play. And then there's Dale, played by Andy Samberg, who I felt like if they were going to have anyone voice Dale, Samberg was the obvious choice. He just fits the type of humor that I would imagine Dale to have. And it also helps that his friend and Lonely Island group member Akiva Schaffer was the director. And I'm not saying one helped the other in any particular way, but if you've listened to any Lonely Island or watched any movie involving this group like Hot Rod or Popstar, then you know they play very well together and it's just a fun time. But I actually watched it twice this weekend to see a lot of the references, cameos, and other things that I missed on first watch, and I recommend you do the same if you can because this movie is just jam-packed from start to finish. But it's also a really good time for kids and nostalgia nerds such as myself, and for that reason I'm going to give Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers an 8 out of 10. So those are my thoughts, and now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. Have you seen the film? If so, what was your favorite or least favorite thing about it, and what would you give it out of 10? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team. And also be sure to give us a follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic so you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. And if you want to be a very kind citizen of the Nerdgenic Nation and support us even more, check out our recently launched Patreon with the link down in the description where you can come and help us make sure that this channel only continues to get better. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, be sure to check out these videos on screen, like this video right over here, which is my video talking about the Umbrella Academy Season 3 trailer that just recently dropped, or check out this playlist of my History of series right over here, where I give you the comic book history of various heroes and villains. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, we really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.